So yes, I'm laying on my bed. I told you yesterday that I was preparing for my daughter and her husband and 2 grandchildren to come and stay, and frankly, there's not a lot of room in the house that isn't uncluttered right now. And then I chose what it was I was going to read for you, and laying down seems appropriate. Listen to this. It's by Eddie Askew, about the 23rd Psalm. Psalm 23 is reassuring. The image of the shepherd guiding, guarding, and feeding his flock is comforting. Reading it for the umpteenth time the other day, though, something struck me that I'd never noticed before. The psalmist writes confidently that God guides him in the paths of righteousness, but follows this immediately with, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Leading me in paths of righteousness sounds great, particularly after the green pastures and still waters bit. But then comes the valley of the shadow. The writer, I assume, saw no contradiction between the two. He's saying that paths of righteousness don't always lead to still waters. And having the right religious passport doesn't guarantee trouble-free travel. It's echoed in verse 5. You prepare a table for me, but I'm warned that it may be in the presence of my enemies. That table isn't a quiet picnic table by a lake, when the only discordant note is the ants on the cake. God provides my needs, but it may well be in preparation for the next part of the struggle. My enemies, say the psalmist, are nearby. But then, so is the shepherd. Not to make life easy, but to surround me with love and to give me the strength for the next step of the journey. And here's the prayer he wrote to go with that reading. Lord, there's always a catch. I get hooked on the green pastures and still waters. I could spend my time very nicely lying in summer grass, content. And if I felt really energetic, I'd open my eyes and watch the clouds sail by. Safely, far overhead, that's where clouds should be. But when those clouds draw thick, chill curtains over the sun, their shadows racing over the ground, I shiver. And when they come down to ground level, my level, surrounding me in mist, I walk a panic path of fear. The still surface of my peace shattered, rough, rippled by the first breath of wind over the water. Are these the paths of righteousness? I pick my way through, hesitating at every step, worried that when I move, my foot may slip, my ankle twist, and sometimes putting out my hand, there's nothing there, or so it seems. And yet, somehow, a strength is there, supporting me. The shepherd takes me high to pasture over rocky paths. Calling me to effort, I climb. Struggling through thorn thickets, the way marked by scraps of wool, torn from the fleece of my self-satisfaction. It makes me breathless that you are there, counting the sheep, knowing when I stray, giving your life to rescue me, taking me each day nearer and nearer the fold. Whatever uncertainty you may be facing in these strange times, we can't stay by still waters forever. God still is in control. God is still leading us, and we are still called to follow wherever he leads us. I pray you might take some rest, take some refreshment, but be ready to climb higher, closer to the shepherd, closer to the fold, whatever the journey might look like. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.